Well, welcome to Chelwood. This is an absolute stunning property in East Sussex. And I'm going to show you around the property today. We're going to have a chat with the owner and we're going to uncover the little treasures that this property has got and how unique it is to this part of the world and what the present owners have done. So without further ado, let's have a wander in, shall we? So anyway, it's great being in this part of the house, Keith. We're going to obviously have a wander around quite soon. But it started out as a tiny little bungalow.
It did, yes. It was a 1970s bungalow built in the 1970s. And when we came to have a look round it, the house itself wasn't really what we were interested in. What was the big attraction here with the gardens? There was no...
And are you from this area, or did you move into this area?
We moved down. Yeah, we were living in Croydon, or just outside Croydon at the time, Purley. And we were just looking to move a little bit further out of London. Both boys had gone off to university and had moved away from home, and we thought it'd be quite nice to live somewhere quite rural. This was a bit further out than we were originally looking at, but we'd looked at quite a few properties. But as soon as we saw this, we thought, do you know what? This has actually got the potential that we need, and certainly the gardens were a fantastic feature. What we didn't know at the time, and it was only when we came round to have a look round the house, that it backed onto 100 acres of private parkland, 100 acres of woodland, and further 400 acres of farmland that would be, available to us to walk around and have the dogs for a walk. So that was a significant added bonus.
And you've got easy access from the bottom of your garden down there, straight out there. So
we do. I mean, we're very fortunate where we are here because not only do we have direct access into the park, we're immediately adjoining the woodland and the lake at the bottom, and the farmland's only a short distance to the west as well. So I would say we were probably one of the best, if not the best, location here in this northwestern corner of Possingworth Parkland.
Well, that's great. And anyone coming along with pets and dogs and things, it's fantastic because they've got, access to do that. So that's a big bonus, isn't it?
Absolutely huge. I mean, our dogs really enjoyed the park and it was a good way of meeting people.
Yeah.
I would say probably most of the park members would know our dogs rather than us.
That's the other nice thing about this property. It's got a feel of being on its own, but the neighbours aren't too far away, so you're not isolated. So
not at all. I mean, it was one of the things that helped with getting the planning consents here, that we're not overlooked at all.
Yeah.
And yet our nearest neighbour is probably 100, 150 metres then to the east. To the west, though, it is a little bit further on. Yes, it's we're not completely isolated here.
Well, that's great. Well, I'm dying to have a wander around, and I'm sure everyone else will be interested. So we'll go for a nice little walk. So, I mean, this is one of the most stunning kitchens that I've seen for an awful long time. So I can see the amount of work that you put into this. So, I mean, where do you begin? I mean, tell me all about it.
Well,
we've got everything here, haven't we?
Yeah. I mean, the kitchen, in fact, was one of the reasons why we did this work and why it took so long to actually get it in place. The original kitchen was a fraction of the size that we have here. From the doorways, effectively, it was just that square there.
Because it was just a little bungalow, actually.
It was just a small 3-bedroom bungalow, and Gay was always very keen that she wanted a kitchen that was a little bit better, a little bit bigger. It was a very dark kitchen. So we had spent a long time getting designs and sorting out. And we couldn't really find anyone who came up with what we really wanted. We had a fair idea ourselves. And then we found HKS Kitchens in Heathfield.
Oh, in Heathfield, yeah.
And they came up with a design that we liked. And what we didn't want was a big slab of an island here. So they came up with this bump on the end of it, which gave us the sitting down area and breakfast.
It's a great idea, actually.
And yeah, it is. It works really well. So we bought the design from them. And the team, Polish team that came in, who had experience of working with central London properties, came off down here and they said, yep, they could work with that. And they came up with some interesting additions into it, like the servo drawers and things like that there, and it really made it.
Security's incredible, the lighting's incredible, and you don't have this background.
So no, I just have an interest in technology, and during part of my work in actually investigating what we wanted to do, we were really looking to try and create an eco-home here. It was a great opportunity for us almost to start with a blank canvas. But for us, having the kitchen here, having a seating area, having a dining area, means that this is a room that we spend most of our time in. And it works really well. We could spend probably all of our time in here. I mean, we do spend a great deal of it. The other thing that we did was to create this island in the ceiling here, which mirrors the hob, to get it there, just to make another feature then for the suspended lights.
More balanced, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But in fact, yes, you created it in the same shape
exactly
as the actual island itself.
Yeah, it's almost like a reflection.
Yeah. So whoever buys this property, you could almost come in with your suitcases and stay here for a year without actually doing anything.
You could. I mean, that was the whole idea behind it, that we would create the colour and everything else through the furniture, which you can replace. You can bring your own style then into it, knowing that you've got a nice neutral colour scheme that comes in.
This, I think, is a fantastic vocal point of the entrance. It's the first impression, isn't it?
It is.
It's like a grand hall, so to speak, isn't it?
It's what we wanted.
It really
we wanted it to be.
Look at this.
A statement then as you came into the property. All the pegs went in, double glazed, and then throughout, high level of security. I mean, they're very strong doors. But it is that statement that we wanted people to come in and say,
first impressions.
Wow.
I'm intrigued about the self-contained apartment that we've got. So this can double up as normal living area for a family, or it could be a business.
We've got the planning consent for it. We could extend out, which we have done, or forget it and go as we were. And once we saw what we could achieve in here and the room that we could achieve, we said, yep, let's go for it.
So this is now, I'm in my self-contained area now.
Well, this now, indeed, I mean, both rooms could be. You could actually have the whole of the first floor. So it's an ideal studio.
But it's got its own separate entrance as well.
It has its own separate entrance together with internal access. So it works really well. So these are double opening doors. So they open up.
Oh, it's very peaceful, isn't it? And you've got, as I say, you've got your access as well.
And one of the other things that we've got here is a robot mower. And that saved me a huge amount of time in looking after 2 acres of gardens.
And have you got a name for your mower? Because most people that have robot mowers have a name.
Robocop. You can see with the bifold doors open, we really bring the garden into the property. The original patio was nowhere near as big as this. These tiles here for the pathway were taken from the original patio that we had.
Oh, I see.
So we reused those then to create this, and it blends in quite well. The seating area, we wanted a covered area, so we went ahead and created this. These are all porcelain tiles, and again we shopped around to get these, and we had a long wait for them because they had to come from Spain, I believe.
Really? This is all maintenance free, isn't it?
It is. It's a product called Cedral, and it's cement fibre.
Oh, is it?
And it looks like wood.
Well, yes.
But you can just wash it off. You can clean it off. It's no maintenance. It's fire resistant and very hard wearing. Where you're standing now, there's a 7,500 litre rainwater harvesting system underneath the grass here.
Right.
So that provides our water for the toilets and for the laundry system, and it means we can water the garden. We've got a quiet sitting area here where we can sit down, nice and peaceful. And we've got Wi-Fi down here, we've got lights, we've got power. So we can get access to the CCTV, or if anyone comes to the gates, we can pick it up from here and open it up. Our robot mower is in his little...
he's asleep at the moment.
There's asleep at the moment.
So you are actually not really a slave to this garden.
No.
The way it's set up.
We've designed it so it's
Yeah.
relatively as maintenance-free as you can get
Yeah.
with a 2-acre garden.
That's interesting.
100 acres of parkland just beyond the trees here, 100 acres of woodland, and there's a large lake down the bottom.
And now I'm
Absolutely.
looking at this and I'm thinking, this was a gigantic task that you've actually achieved.
It was an enjoyable task when you look back on it at the time. I mean, we put this in 5 years ago.
Yeah.
With the gates and the fence here, just so that we had privacy that we wanted,
I love it.
which is a statement, the wow factor
It really is.
coming in and comparing it to what it was originally like. Well, there is no comparison.
There's a massive leading question I've got to ask you. Why are you moving? That you've got everything here, you've put so much of your efforts, both of you, into creating what we've looked at today. And the general public will always ask me, well, where are they going? Why are they moving? What is the reason?
The principal one is that we've got 2 young grandchildren now, and we want to be closer to them. We've taken the time to be with them 2 days a week.
Yeah.
And the journey from here is certainly is quite a long one, and particularly for Gay as well. So we thought, let's perhaps be closer to them and, let someone else enjoy what we've created
Well,
here.
you've enjoyed this project anyway,
absolutely.
creating it, and it's nice to. I always say with anything and any type of property that you get a property and you take it to a standard and then pass it on to someone else, and no doubt someone else will then take it on to another level somewhere else.
Absolutely.
And this is the way the whole thing evolves anyway in property. So, well, I'd like to, thank you.
Thank you.
For your time. Thank you.
Thanks, David.
Cheers.